We're doing it in a shorter time frame.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, we're just high and tight, like a good fade.
Yeah, that's it. Like a good fade. That's a good one. Are we live yet?
Yeah, we're fine.
Oh, okay.
Nobody cares.
Cool.
Who cares?
All right, that makes sense.
Do you care? Is it going to change how we talk?
Not really. I mean, it's nothing changes.
We have to lie about what the other things we're doing while we're podcasting. We can't do that while we're recording. We can't be like, oh yeah, I'm also playing this game on the side. I'm in Valorant right now. Like, you just look over and I'm like,
I'm creating the thumbnail. Oh, I might be reading a comic. Who knows?
Full attention. You all, Kick has our full attention, guys.
Yes, it does.
We are back. We have had a 3-week hiatus. 2 of those weeks were busy things, and last week was more of a, you got nothing to talk about.
Yeah. There was nothing going on, man. There's nothing going on, bro. Nothing going on.
I mean, there's always something to talk about, but I feel like energy level, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I didn't have the energy level to kind of like, oh, let's make fun of She-Hulk for another 45 minutes. Let me rant about I don't care.
I mean, you can only go on for about 37, and then after that, it's like, what else are you talking about for the remaining?
Yeah, you can only spend about a good 30 to 40 minutes a week shitting on She-Hulk before the diminishing returns kick in.
I mean, basically. I mean, listen. She does look nice in this new comic that I was reading. I mean, that counts for something.
She-Hulk is the best.
Yeah, 100% she is. She's amazing.
The things that we did not talk about, there are like a couple of things that we weren't around to talk about. None of them were big. For me, the biggest one was the cancellation of the Acolyte.
That was huge.
The cancellation of the Acolyte. And
it was huge for multiple reasons, but
I had to sit around and go, don't smile because it's over, cry because it happened. And to a lot of people, like, it's I feel bad because there was a good show in there. It was just told by a shitty director with questionable writers and mid-tier actors. And like, it could have been good. It could have been great. It fell short. And at the end of the day, there's no question that there is a non-zero number of people that suck, like, that are just shitty, that are like bigots or whatever. Like, there's no question that exists. That's always going to exist. That's never going to go anywhere.
It's everywhere. Like, unfortunately, the voices on that side are getting louder these days. But
see, that's the thing. I'm not even sure if that's true. I just think that the amount I've seen this for years. I've seen this kind of conversation, and this is the benefit of me being a liberal in a liberal state, and I'm more liberal than anything else, but liberal is more accurate than anything else would be at this time for me.
Yeah,
like being a liberal in a liberal state, I don't see the bad things. Like, I'll drive around, I'll see a sign or something, or someone with a bumper sticker with truck nuts will say, I'll see some of that
T-shirt every now and again. I live in a very liberal state too, so
yeah. The shittiest things I see are never from the source.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Always see someone talking about the shitty thing.
Right.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but
it's not your
confirmation
it's not your
bias
nature. It's not what's going on around. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if 30 people I know say, I'm gonna throw something out there, say my neighbors are eating cats, an absolutely ridiculous statement that makes no sense.
Right.
Couldn't imagine why any sane person would say that.
Right.
But at the same time, if I hear enough people say our neighbors are eating cats, I might be like, don't let the cat out. Right? Like, just in case.
I understand.
And then I come by and like my neighbor has a cat and I've seen it multiple days in a row. I'm like, they're probably not eating them if they like, you know what I mean?
There's like signs of life.
So again, it's like I know the ridiculous exists.
Right.
I just, because I hear about it more than I hear it, confirmation bias is telling me that it must be everywhere because I'm hearing about it. But I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
Like and at the end of the day, the true irony of the cancellation of the Acolyte, it is nobody watched it. The people who are making fun of it and the people who are supporting it did not watch it.
Interesting. Oh, you're right. You know what's funny? Because there was a content creator, I won't say names, but there was a content creator that made a video about how bad it was, right? But didn't actually watch any of the episodes. He just did it based on
other people's
IMDb reviews and other people had said about it. Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we live in this crazy time, and it's never going to get better. We just have to learn how to navigate this.
How to navigate
time
it, yeah.
Of like, I can hear the same thing for multiple times that won't make it true.
Mm.
I'll be the first to say, early 2020, like January and February of 2020, I was like, I'm not worried. I was not worried about COVID because I'm never worried about the flu, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, media over time has sensationalized things so much that I wasn't worried about it. And then I'd hear a little bit more, and I'm like, okay. And then I'd hear a little bit more, and I'm like, okay. And I'd hear a little bit more, and then boom, we're COVID. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like, but that's like I said, that's the cognitive bias we have. That's the happy bubbles we're in. Like, you and me, we're friends. We'll hear plenty. Anti-Vower, do you remember my old days of stream? I don't know, maybe someone will. When I used to use an example, I heard, you moved to a new place. I watched every episode of The Acolyte with my kiddos. No, it's not false. Nobody watched The Acolyte. Like, nobody watched it. Like, yes, by nobody, I don't mean not a single human being. I mean, like, of all of the people who criticized or praised The Acolyte, there wasn't enough viewership to continue The Acolyte. It wasn't canceled because of like a bunch of angry people.
Yeah, right. It wasn't canceled because of negative reviews.
As a matter of fact, if it was making money and people were talking about it, they would have done more. More people were shitting on The Acolyte than watched it, and more people were blindly defending The Acolyte than watched it. And we know that because it was canceled due to low viewership. Like, that's what that was like. If they might be lying. Okay. They released Nielsen ratings. They said we had the highest viewership of any Disney Plus show this year, of which there were 2. So, not the highest of all time, just this year. And then it was like, we had like the first 3 episodes, because the first 2 were released in the same day. 3 episodes had high viewership, dropped all the way, and then it recovered in the 10th, but wasn't even near the first. Nobody watched it. And that's my sadness. Like, if it was watched, I don't know that we'd have this like, basically, Inside is a solid 6 out of 10 story. Like, that's The Acolyte. It's a 6 out of 10 show, right? Like, that's what it was. Like, I watched it, you didn't. That's a great example, right?
Yep.
And I watched it with people on my account. So, like, other people had the account, but, I watched it with like 2 other people. Like, we weren't like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. We were like, there were parts where we're like, oh, that's stupid. But like, I watched a movie today called Uglies. Y.A. Schlock. I love Y.A. Schlock. It was so it was Mockingbird, it was Mockingjay, like it was just YA absolute fucking garbage. And spoilers, the ending is awful. The ending of that movie is like, what was this movie for? Like, why did we do this? Watch it with your kids. Watch it. No, honestly,
if it's on Netflix,
you can watch it with your kids.
It a shot. You know what I mean?
You can watch it with your girls. I'll tell you, like, you can watch it with your girls. It's totally appropriate for them. But it's a stupid fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like it's you know, it is what it is. What I used to say was, say you move to a new town, right? Whatever that is, and every person, the first person you meet, they go, "Oh, hey, welcome to town." You know, if you, I work at the so and so you'll probably run into me every now and then. And also, don't go into the woods. There are werewolves in the woods. You're gonna be like, weird, but all right. You're gonna move on. Then you go to a store, right, and you pick something up, and you're like, "Oh, hey, you must be new here. You must have moved into the old Stevenson house. Like, my name is Frank, and I've been running the store for 32 years. It's a nice town, very quiet. Just don't go in the woods. There are werewolves in there." And you're like,
second time now.
Very weird. And then like every time after that you interact with somebody and they go like, "And don't go in the woods, there are werewolves in there." You know for a fact that there are no werewolves in the woods. You know that. You know because werewolves aren't real. But you know something's in the fucking woods.
Something's there.
And you shouldn't go in the woods.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Like, it's this, like, that's where we're at now. Like, it's there are people that are like, can you believe there's
word of mouth, yeah.
Can you believe there's a coven of lesbian space witches? I'm like, well, first of all, Lesbian Space Witches is an awesome band name. And second of all, I wish they were lesbian space witches. They weren't. They were just space witches. Two of them may have been lesbians. Why are we using this as the conversation point? That's not why that sucked.
Yo, honestly, thank you for clarifying that, because I literally thought, based on what I saw on Twitter, first and foremost, you could already find an issue with this argument or whatever, or statement that I'm saying. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
that alone, tells you. Yeah. But I saw that, and it was going all, and I saw the comments that were following it, and I was like, I guess there were lesbian witches.
There weren't lesbian space witches. They were just space witches. And then, like,
this entire time I thought that they were actually lesbian space witches.
No, like, exactly. It's just like, oh my God. Hex girls.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Perfect. No, like, it was just the number of points in, like, if you watch the show because you're a Star Wars, like, you love Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
And you're like super engaged, the show's not gonna be great for you. Like, you're not gonna appreciate the Star Wars of the show, but you might appreciate the not Star Wars of the show. Like, and that's what it is. That's not saying that there aren't people who like Star Wars.
You're just watching the show for the show itself. You're not watching it with any expectation. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
I'm sure you've heard Andor is a phenomenal show, and the reason Andor is a phenomenal show is there's no Star Wars in it. Like, it's the least Star Wars. It's the most boring political drama Star Wars has ever had, and because of that, it was like, oh well. There are people who love Star Wars that didn't like Andor, and there are people who like Star Wars and liked Andor because it was different and it was a different side. It was like the bureaucracy of the Empire. Like, that's an interesting. It's way more interesting than like the Senate in the prequels. So like oh yes, the Senate. But a TV show makes sense. So the whole point of that this entire thing is like, the Acolyte did a bad job of doing what it wanted to do, and it could be better. We don't talk about the Book of Boba Fett. That was all over the fucking place. Although I do love Fat Boba Fett.
Hot wet garbage. Okay, that's good. It's good to know.
Hot wet garbage.
Yeah, very
Book of Boba Fett was
pretty
bad. And but either way, like, at the end of the day, I've said it a million times. I'm gonna keep saying it a million times until everyone kind of understands. Like, I'm not making this up. This is true. Like, if you have an audience make things for your audience. And if you want to expand upon your audience, put parts of that in the show that will expand your audience. Like, make good content and then make other things in that relevant.
Right.
That's it.
Satisfy the audience, satisfy your core audience, and then if you're trying to bring in a new audience, then you can include things that are. I think I let me try to think about this. Like, I think Loki did a good job of that. Right, they stuck to some comic lore, but at the same time, you don't need to know what exactly is going on in the MCU per se to know what's going on to appreciate or like the Loki series, in my opinion.
If there's somebody that had a problem with there being a female Loki in Loki, that's who they are as a person, and there's no conversation we can have about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't. What are we gonna do about that? Nothing. There's nothing we can do.
There's nothing you can do.
But like, if you watch that show without having a random bias towards certain things, and we're like, it really wasn't for me, then so be it. I just don't think that's the overlap. Like, I think most people who watched Loki enjoyed Loki. Season 1 at least, Like, I think most people who watched it enjoyed it.
Season 2 was more for the following the MCU lore, figuring out where the story connects with the over. That was more what that series is about. But Loki season 1, I think, was enjoyable for a wider audience. I feel like,
and again, it's about money. I feel like there's
there's a few shows that I can point out that are like that. I mean, I think personally, like the Hawkeye series is a show that reaches a broader audience, families, right? Like, I mean, people who are into a father-daughter relationship, that type. Not that sounds weird, but you get what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't sound weird. It only sounds weird if you're weird.
Right, that's fair. But that sort of aspect, that family aspect was really good with Hawkeye. But there's some series that they almost get in their own way in terms of like what they're trying to do, and that's where what going back to what you're saying, there's a core audience that you have, what they're looking for, give them that what they want, and then of course you can find ways of intertwining things and add and putting in additions that can reach a wider audience, which I think they did a better job of that probably with their first few phases as opposed to what they've been putting out recently.
I think again, we're going back to Chapek being a fucking idiot, because Chapek was a fucking idiot, and we're going to the point where he was like, we need to have so much Disney Plus, we need Disney Plus fucking spraying us like a water hose.
To be honest with you, at the time, I was all for it, because I was like, what are we gonna do? What are we doing after?
Was Marvel quality on Disney Plus, and sometimes we did, and sometimes we didn't, and it comes down to something real simple. If you're gonna spend $100 million, make it a
sometimes
movie.
200.
No, I'm just saying, if you're gonna spend $100 million plus, make it a movie. You're gonna make your money back at $100 million.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, make it a movie. But there's no reason for $100 million 6, 7, 8 episode show. Like, there's just no reason.
I think for me, like, partially what was confusing for me with their shows was, are there shows, somebody just said, are they side quests? Are they side stories? Or are they something that's supposed to be connected to this whole overall saga lore? And that was the disconnect for me, because a lot of these shows didn't really seem to connect. And I'm like, okay, is this intentional? And because they've trained us as Marvel MCU lovers who are like, well, this thing connects to that thing, and that thing connects to this thing, we're so trained to expect that. I think almost like saying, hey, these shows are not going to be that. But then some of the shows did, and then some of the shows didn't. So it was like, what's happening here? What's happening here with all of these shows? Like, how does Wanda connect with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Oh, there's the fact that she turned into the Scarlet Witch, but everything else looked really weird and kind of like out of sorts. Okay, get it. Loki.
But I don't think that was a fault of Wanda. I think that was a fault of Doctor Strange.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Like, because the movies have to stand on their own, and the shows have to give background. Like, I don't need... If you never watched Loki season 1 or season 2, when we see Loki again, they have to explain why... Like, it doesn't have to be long, but it has to be addressed who he is. They introduced us to a character like Photon. I'm gonna say something positive about the Marvels.
Be careful
when
now.
we were introduced to Photon in the Marvels, they assume and Ms. Marvel and Kamala Khan, they assumed we did not know who this bitch was.
Yeah.
They were like, "What? Oh, you're a grown-up version of this. How did you get these powers?" There was an incident, you know, like, and now, oh, how did that happen? Go back and fucking watch. That's... He hadn't read or even knew what happened to Walter. Yeah, like, dude, I'm saying it wasn't even too many cooks. There were no cooks.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was... It was like they were running a restaurant. There was no fucking menu, and everyone was cooking whatever they wanted.
Right.
You know, everyone's like, I can make mac and cheese. Fuck it. Make some mac and cheese.
Look at Nick Fury in Secret Invasion, and then look at him in the Marvels, and you're just like, huh? Are these two of the same people?
And it also, like, tripling down, like, it also comes to the fact that the actors are either technically phoning it in, don't care, or are afraid.
Yeah.
Because, like, Samuel L. Jackson, knowing that he did Secret Invasion, knowing that Secret Invasion was happening before the Marvels, having read both scripts, at some point he could have been like, guys, just so you know, this is not who my character is anymore. Like, I'm a different person after the events of this.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, like, I'm different now. Or if in reverse, he can go into Secret Invasion, say that was filmed after for whatever reason. He could say, oh, this isn't going to work because at the end of this series, this is who I'm going to be. So we have to, like, I wish we'd gotten that the rumored script. Yeah, the rumored original MOM script is right here. Bo DeMeo revealed the original plans of Doctor Strange 2. We could talk about that whenever.
Yeah, we can. We can get into it.
I just wanted to finish the thoughts on this. Like,
yeah, no,
guys,
let's finish this so we can jump into it. Yeah.
Their best show, like, Hawkeye was fucking great. It was a good show. I followed the characters. I cared. I didn't have to have watched Black Widow to understand who Yelena is, that she's fucking awesome, and why. The show did it. I knew everything about everything. A show that stands on its own, a movie that stands on its own, where having former knowledge enhances it, not is required for it, is a good movie, a good show.
Yeah.
If you have to have previous knowledge, and I'm talking with innovation, like, if you watch What If Season 2 without watching What If Season 1, that's on you. That's not the same. Like, if you watch Loki Season 2 if you watch a sequel without watching the original, that's on you.
Yeah, it's a different story, yeah.
But I go back to Winter Soldier. If you watch Winter Soldier and you've only seen Captain America, even if you didn't see Captain America, that movie stands up. But if you watched Winter Soldier and you saw Captain America, you are now in full understanding who Arnim Zola is. What happened to Bucky. You know, like, this is years after. If you've never saw the Avengers, you would still understand what's happening, and that's the sign of a good story. Cost so high because of casting, having Fury show up, but oof, why spend even more to get the Queen of Dragons, get some new blood? No,
it's not even the cast. It's not. I don't think the casting is only such a small. All right, yes, the casting is a big part of it. There's a big budget that is for that, but if you look at, like, whatever their compensation was, it's not as if though the compensation that they were getting was 25% of that budget. You know what I mean? It wasn't like there was other crap that they were doing that hiked the prices up wherever they filmed it. You know what? Like those are the things that really skyrocket the budget. They were doing too much. Too much.
Disney, and I've said this a million times. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Disney is going to live forever."
Yeah, it's fine. They're fine, bro.
The only way Disney won't live forever is if the government shuts Disney down somehow.
Yeah,
like that's if the United States government goes like, "Yeah, Disney's done." Well, could they do that? It's the government. They could do theoretically anything if it's passed into law. You know, like Disney is a $1 trillion company. They can afford to lose billions in the same way that if like I can leave $1 bill on the floor, forget about it, and not be starving
at all.
Like, you know bothered. What I mean? Like $1 out of my pocket sucks, but it's not gonna cripple me. Right. A few $100 million out of Disney's pocket sucks. It's not gonna cripple them. Which is why, like, every time the board's like, "We voted no confidence in Iger," and everyone's like, "Yeah, no, it's fine. He's fine. Shut up." They're like, "Well, we wanted to change it. We don't care. Fuck off." I don't. Okay, so like, I guess look at this. Bo DeMeo reveals original plans. Original did her justice. Wanda was with Strange recovering after Westview, feeling bad about what she did. She helps him. Wong and Chavez, who she tutors, beat Nightmare across the multiverse, where she also sees her variants happy with kids. Still, Wanda resists, and she, not Chavez, helps Strange save the day against Nightmare, which I do remember Nightmare being a character who's supposed to be present in original chats, who turned out to be a Darkhold corrupted Strange variant. Cool. Also, she used her experience in WandaVision to warn Chavez about abusing her power. Only after saving the day, unable to resist finding a multiverse where she can be with her kids, there's Wanda sobbing, break from Strange, and accidentally beheads Wong. Well, that had to be recasted because we cannot not have Wong.
Right.
Who tries to stop her from fleeing. That was the film's cliffhanger. Made far more sense, and even when she flees, Wanda's torn up by guilt in classic comic fashion and keeps apologizing to Strange. Yeah, like, that's a better movie than what we got.
It was.
And, yeah, and you know, bits and pieces, right? As like, we got a nothing burger. That movie was a giant nothing burger.
It's for personal reasons, right? I wasn't a huge fan of the movie because I'm not really a big horror movie person in general. Like, I just don't. It's not my thing. So they were trying to lean really heavily into that and I felt like they lost the story along the way. So that was disappointing to me. And I remember me and my wife kind of like leaving the movie and saying like, she's like, that was kind of a lot. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I felt like they were trying to force the whole horror side of the movie as opposed to giving a good story that was compelling, that was exciting, that had good twists. It really wasn't there. On another note, once again, the biggest issue for me was it didn't really continue Wanda's story in the way that I desired for it to continue it. And it also didn't really pick up Strange. I thought that this movie would have really put Strange in the place of, now that Captain America's not there, now that Iron Man's not there, that now we're really going to start to see him is sort of take on one of the leadership roles in the MCU. I left that movie saying, there's no way that this man should be left with any sort of leadership position in the MCU, and then also being frustrated that he got the eye in the middle of his head so fast. And once again, I look back at that movie and I'm like, what story were they trying to tell here? I don't understand the purpose of this. And once again, my mind is programmed to what does this mean for the future of the MCU? And I just couldn't really see any connecting sources, pictures, of that. The storyline itself that you just read was more interesting. The only thing is that you can't really kill Wong. I mean, Wongers. That's my only drawback to this whole thing. But that was more of a compelling story because
there's a middle ground between the two that ends up where we are.
You give Wanda, in my opinion, proper motivation to be more of a villain than I just want my kids. It just seems very contrived. So I don't know. In my opinion, I've kind of forgotten the purpose of that movie. I don't know because there was no purpose for it.
TLC's other than it was a really good Sam Raimi movie. Sam Raimi is a good director in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
This just was so far outside of his wheelhouse. Like we can't even compare like any of those Spider-Man to the last, I don't even want to say 3, but the last 2, like Homecoming. If you haven't watched Homecoming in a while and you're starting to think it wasn't that good a movie, rewatch fucking Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Homecoming was a fucking great movie.
It's really good.
Like everybody fucking nailed it, right?
The character development of Peter Parker in that movie was phenomenal. In my opinion.
You know how hard it is to pull one over on me?
With Mysterio?
Like him being her dad? No, not Mysterio.
You're talking about Homecoming. You come on Homecoming. Okay.
Yeah. Him being her dad, I was like, part of me in my soul knew it had to be him.
Yeah.
But like when I saw it, but like up to that point, no fucking idea.
Yeah.
No fucking idea. Why would I? What? How? Like, and it's something so stupid. It was like hindsight 2020. Yes, that makes perfect sense. It's not original, but the movie made it good because it was a good movie. Because it, it's jazz hands, punch in the face. Like it got you. It got me. I was like, good.
And once again, movie. that progressed Peter Parker's character. Once again, like I felt it was a sincere performance because it wasn't I am Spider-Man and I figured it out. It was more of like, no, like I actually just got the suit. Like I just for the first time. I don't really know what I'm doing. I still need mentorship, but at the same time, I gotta still find a way to figure it out on my own. It was a very grounded movie. I love a lot. It's back to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, right? It was kind of a friendly. I liked it. It was a fun movie, and it brought back sort of like the feels of, in a way, like reading comics and seeing Spider-Man go through these really hard struggles, of wanting to be more than he really could be, but then also still find a way to be more than he is. So I don't know. I enjoyed it.
But even like you can combine those two stories. Like from what I just read, you could have Wanda be with Doctor Strange, trying to like atone, kind of, and
for what she did wrong in Westview,
sort of keeping the Darkhold secret from him as they're fighting Nightmare, and then we find out the reason they kill Darkhold in the first half, right? Like at the midpoint. And we find out that that Nightmare was Doctor Strange variant who was corrupted by the Darkhold, which Wanda has, and his death like triggers the chain reaction in which Wanda kind of snaps. And the second half of the movie is Wanda like embracing the darkness, and then you just fast forward through that. Like then it's just like, I need like Chavez's power. I need action. Both could have been together. It's just, again, for popcorn, it's fine. Put it on, great. But like, if I wanted more popcorn movies, I'd go back and rewatch Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, which I recently did. Like, it was a popcorn movie. Was it good? No.
Yeah.
Was it great? Yeah. No. Was there good parts? Yes, of course. Like. But like then you Galactus, like, oh, okay, this is stupid. Like the reason Marvel was so successful for a decade is because they made good stories with just enough connection to make you want to see the next one.
Yep.
And the entirety of Phase 4 was just like stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
And the TV shows were the good TV shows they had were better than the good movies they had. They
were. Oh, it's the truth. I mean, listen,
their good TV shows were better than their good movies.
Some of my favorite pieces of content from them that I want to go back to are TV shows, Moon Knight, Hawkeye. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Hawkeye over. I've watched WandaVision over and over again. I've watched Loki over and over again. There have been multiple series that I've watched over and over again. I can't say the same for their movies. Now, I have watched Wakanda Forever over and over again, but that's just because my daughter forces me to, because we went to go see it together. But from like a movie perspective, other than Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, there really hasn't been good films to watch that they've come out with recently. And for me, more so, there haven't been meaningful films for me to watch. Now, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be in that tier of, I'm going to be watching that movie over and over and over and over again. But there's been nothing.
Fun movie. Dumb movie.
Great movie, fun movie. It's in like not really a good story, but fun movie from top to bottom that I was captivated with, right? But that is something that I'm gonna continue to watch. But then once again, I go back to the same question: what does this movie do in terms of connecting the other stories? And we kind of won't really find out until they come out with more movies. But they haven't really connected it to anything that has happened, previously before it, right? So we're gonna have to see what precedes it in order for us to be able to say, all right, well, maybe this was important because of X. But for right now, it was just a good, fun movie that we really enjoyed.
If it's not important, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it did its thing, which was it was good and fun.
Mm-hmm.
If it ends up being important in retrospect, great. And if it doesn't, also great. It's not gonna not be. Doubt Deadpool and Wolverine hold up to all the viewings. I've watched it.
Yeah, bro. I've already watched it. You're right.
Holds up multiple viewings. It's like a good wrestling match. That's the best way to describe it. It's a good wrestling match. Like everything that's gonna happen, so that the shock is down, but the high spots are still great. The low spots are you just skim through them, right?
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of parts where you just kind of get through. So what did I miss?
Wanda's motive. I lost my only love after finding a new home after losing everything in Sokovia. She felt the hole with her creation of kids and Vision having ripped away all again. So here's where I have a little problem. And the problem I have is if the only reason a character is doing something is they read it in the script, I noticed that. Wanda created her children. Right? She created them out of fucking thin air. They don't exist. They are magical bullshit that she created because she's the Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, they can't exist outside the Hex. First of all.
Oh, that part. I get what you're saying. Okay.
First of all. I put them in their own. They're surrounded by a hex. They can exist. I've made the hex around them. Magic.
I brought them back. By the way, just so that we're clear, because she is the Scarlet Witch, so she can do that.
Ignoring the fact that she's the Scarlet Witch, she did it before she knew. She created them out of her. And then she read the Darkhold, and the solution to that problem was, let's just go to a multiverse and steal another pair. Bring them back. You didn't have to let them fucking go. You chose that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you chose, like, the writers chose that to be the reason, but they didn't depower her. If at the end of those events, their death and Vision's disappearance was not because she decided to end the hex, but because of the actions that were taken, like, limited her power, I understand what they were going for, which was grief. Like, that was the stages of grief, was the, you know, the process. That was the thing. But, like, at the end of the day, she wasn't depowered. She was more powerful. And then, like, the final credit, like, she was in a cabin in the woods with a dark, evil book. Sam Raimi best. And then, like, she wasn't like, you know what, this would be a good place to remake the hex, in this fucking cabin in the woods. Kids, come back. I'm going to read this book, The Darkhold, and we're going to figure out how to make this more permanent. There was nothing stopping her from doing that other than the people who wrote the script didn't realize they fucking walked themselves into a hole. And, like, it happens. It happens in comic books all the time. You're going off. Like, you see a comic and you read something, you're like, wait, why is this happening? Sometimes the comics give you a shitty reason. It's still a reason.
Right.
Like what? Why is Chasm? Why is Chasm crazy? Because shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, the reason was because shit happened to him. And you're like, oh, okay. What kind of shit? Must have been bad if it turned him this. You know, like,
been pretty bad.
Yeah. That's at least that, like, ooh, a mystery box. Can't wait to find out. Don't fucking let us down. Don't dangle the fucking carrot. And then it turns out the entire time it was hollow. Yeah. Waldron never bothered to find out what was going to happen in WandaVision. Yeah. But, like, understanding the reason why doesn't, like, it's the reason. Never do, like, I don't have to accept that. Disney has to learn from that. Why do they have to learn from that? Because they're paying RDJ like $125 million.
Oh my gosh, man.
For both movies. Like, for the rest of whatever he's doing for the next couple years. But, like, that's $125 million they didn't have to pay. They didn't have to pay $125 million to bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. But they had to. They
could have went with.
They had, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have to, but they had to.
But they
didn't have to bring the Russo brothers back, but they had to.
Oh, they're paying them pretty good money too. They're paying them pretty well.
The Russos cut a deal. I was reading it maybe a week or two ago. The Russos cut a deal. They're using their production studio for the movie. It's the first time Disney has ever allowed that. With the exception of The Incredible Hulk, which was done by Universal Studios production studio. It's the first time since that was part of their. When you have leverage,
the ball's in their court. The ball's in their court, man.
It's all about leverage, man. Could have got a new actor for cheap. Could have got a not new actor for cheaper than $125 million for 2 fucking movies.
Yeah, man.
Cillian Murphy would have done it for like 20 for both movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
And on top of it all, there's no guarantee that RDJ Doom is going to do well. It's dependent on how they tell that story. And
here's the thing, though.
There are more Doctor Doom fans than there are Iron Man fans. I'm just going to say that. Please continue.
I was going to say, what they're banking on is the fact that, like, at least in that opening weekend, that people are going to be so amped up to go watch this movie. But what they don't realize is that, like, the initial sort of, there's about 20 to 30% of their audience that initially is just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to see first, bro. It's more than that. I'm lowballing it. But it's more than that, bro. That are going to be like, yo, you know what? I don't really know whether or not this is actually going to cook first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back because I'm not really a fan of the fact that you're bringing back RDJ. He was Tony Stark before he was Iron Man. He died. And then you're trying to bring him back as Dr. Doom. What storyline are you following here? How exactly is that going to work? Are you going to revive him? And then Dr. Doom's going to take over his body? Are you going to follow that story? People are just like, nah, like this feels a little stale to me.
I'm going to let you cook, but understand.
I'm gonna let you do your thing first, but I'm gonna wait to see what these other channels have to say first. I'm gonna see what Twitter has to say first. I'm gonna see what Reddit has to say first before I decide to go spend my money on this movie.
If Gordon Ramsay comes into my house,
mm-hmm.
goes into my fridge, pulls out mayonnaise, old chicken fingers.
Is this what you currently have in your fridge right now?
I'm thinking of what's in my fridge. Yeah. If he old chicken fingers, mayonnaise, and like a head of cauliflower. If he pulls those 3 things out of my fridge, looks me dead in the eye, and he goes, "I'm gonna make a casserole with these 3 ingredients." I'm gonna go, "Okay, Gordon Ramsay, I'm gonna try that." Because you're Gordon Ramsay, and if you know how to, excuse me, if you know how to do this, I have no reason to believe you couldn't make this work.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying I'll like it, but I'm going to try it. Same exact conversation, but if the homeless guy outside the 7-Eleven did the exact same thing, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house,
bro.
Homeless guy.
Nah, exactly.
And then in the middle ground, like we'll go to the middle ground, if like a line cook at Chili's did it, I recognize that you know how to cook Chili's. I don't necessarily know that your culinary arts are able to take cauliflower, old chicken nuggets, and mayonnaise and turn that. And that's where we're at with Marvel now.
Hey, Aladdin, maybe they're a diamond in the rough. You never know.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with Marvel right now. 2019, 2020 Marvel, right?
No,
if they came to me and said, "Yo, we're gonna do Doctor Doom, and we can't tell you who's gonna play him until later," I'd be like, "Oh shit, these guys are gonna fucking knock it out of the park."
Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
If like 2021 Marvel said that, I'd be like, okay, we're doing a little bit of course correcting here. We're trying to get there. Mm-hmm. We're in 2024 Marvel.
Yeah.
They done shit a lot of beds. A lot of beds been shit on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The beds are shitting on other beds.
We don't want to pull up how many movies they've come out with and which ones have actually sucked and which ones have actually been good. Nah, because the reality is this: Marvel. At this point, this is where we are. This is where we are. You're not DC. With DC, we're like, yeah, y'all have sucked. So at this point,
whatever you do,
we'll give you
go off.
Exactly, right? With Marvel, we're just like, no, but you set a pretty high quality. We know you know how to create good content, but then you decide to do crap content. So therefore, I'm not going to continue to reward you with my money, homie. And I'm going to continue to go to these theaters and watch these movies when you're putting out hot garbage. We're not going to continue to do that. So you got to come correct first. And right now with Robert Downey Jr., we see through that lens. We're like, okay, you trying to bring Robert Downey Jr. back because you're trying to soften us up a little bit here. You're trying to say, oh, well, he's been successful in Marvel before. It's a shiny object, right? But what we're saying is, no. We need to see the substance. We need to see the meat. We need to see exactly what it is what journey you're putting us on right now. Because let's be honest with you. Let's be honest, right? Since 2019, we still have no idea what this multiverse saga is about. We don't know. We don't know.
We don't care. That's the real answer.
We don't. But the only reason why we don't care is because they've made us not care. Because they've put out crap. You gonna tell me that you're gonna say that? And yes, I get that Jonathan Majors is no longer in the MCU. He's not Kang. There's no Kang in the MCU now, or at least not at the version of Kang that we anticipated. You set up Kang and Loki to be the bad mother. Shut your mouth. Right? You set him up to be that guy, and then you gave us Quantumania, and then you said he's that guy. The other ones are the guys, but like not this one. And then you took forever to follow up with that. And then you gave us Loki, and then Loki season 2 was just like, oh.
Just gonna put up a picture of MODOK's butt whenever the opportunity comes up.
Now you might as well. But then you gave us Loki season 2, and then the story at the very end of it was like, okay, we're kind of like desensitizing the effect of Kang because we basically said that we've neutralized that threat already. Now, obviously, they knew more information than we did. They were just like, hey, we know what's going on with Jonathan Majors. We probably know how this is going to end. Therefore, we're kind of, giving ourselves some wiggle room here to go in different directions. But from the very beginning, you never really properly set them up in the first place because you kind of screwed it up with Quantumania. So then that just left us with the questions of, like, what exactly is this multiverse saga about? And you trained us to be able to follow along with stories as we go through the Infinity Saga. You set up Iron Man in the very beginning. Then you gave us Captain America, the first Avenger. Then you set up Thor. Then you continued that on with Avengers. And then after Avengers, then you had Iron. So you continued on kind of like dropping this little small hints of things that would be important as we move along. They have not done that with the Multiverse Saga. So now we're sitting here like, you bringing in Doom? For what? What's he doing?
Because you have to. Because you couldn't live with your failure. They'll set it up. I have no doubt that they'll set it up. I have no doubt that by the time we get to Doomsday...
You're a better person than me, bro. That's all I'm saying. You're better than me, bro.
I have no doubt that by the time we get to Doomsday, we'll understand how we got to Doomsday. If what Anti-Valor said is true, I'm going to be mad. That doesn't mean I'm not going to like it. I might like it in spite of me being mad, but I will be mad. If Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, I will be mad. If the person who is Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, I will be mad. Is that a deal breaker for me? No, but I'm not happy. If there's a million things, right? There's a million things. If Tony Stark died in that universe and Victor Von Doom took on his visage, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
If he's horribly disfigured in the Fantastic Four movie in the universe, and then he comes over and chooses to look like Tony Stark because Doom can do whatever the fuck he wants, I'm okay with that. If he doesn't look like Tony Stark, if he's just Robert Downey Jr. with some fucking prosthetic shit in his face, fine with that. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna be happy. Now, what does that mean? Nothing. But I know I'm not the only one. Right? Like, I know I'm not the only person who's just tired of seeing shitty Doctor Dooms. And one time, Victor Von Doom not suck. As of right now, when Variety came out with the article like months ago talking about how they're thinking of pivoting to Doom, and I was like, that's a stupid idea. I stand by that. I think it's a stupid fucking idea.
Yeah.
I hear all of the people that are fucking like, brilliant play, Marvel. Brilliant play, Disney. So smart, so demure, so mindful. Like, we are not the same fans. Yep. You, not you, goof, obviously.
Yeah.
That person, that group, are fans the way Dr. Pepper is a doctor. It says it. They say it. I'm not going to fight them on it. But you're not a fanatic. you're a Chiefs fan this year. You're a Patriots fan in like that 6-year span. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are not a Patriots fan the way someone with a Drew Bledsoe jersey is a Patriots fan. You are not a Kansas City Chiefs fan the way I can't name anyone who's ever played on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. You know what? I can. I'm going to say Byron Leftwich, because Byron Leftwich has played on every team in the NFL as a quarterback, guaranteed.
Byron Leftwich.
He was the herpes of the NFL.
Is he still an offensive coordinator right now for the Bucks, or has he moved on? I don't know.
Fuck knows.
I have to look it up.
Byron Leftwich doesn't know. But you know, there's a difference. Fandom has levels. There are crazy fans. There are diehard fans, like from the left. You know, there are popular fans. There are fair weather fans, and then you start moving to the unfans, right?
Yeah.
There are people. Marvel is popular because it was popular to be popular. They were making good movies. People were enjoying them. It was a fun thing to do with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It made everyone feel connected. We're all good. How many movies are we getting? When's the next movie? Captain America. Like I said,
we have Captain America coming out next.
We said this months ago, right? Whatever Deadpool and Wolverine does, it's not as important as Captain America Brave New World.
Yeah.
Like, if it does well, that's phenomenal. And it did. By the time we were there, like, oh, it's a $1 billion movie. I don't know. It's a fucking $1 billion movie, my friends. Trust me, it's a $1 billion movie. Like, it's not hard.
It's like well over that now, I think, at this point.
I'll look, but like it doesn't matter. People were like, I'm not sure. No, it's a $1 billion movie. If you're not sure, this is a learning opportunity for you. Trust me on this. Like, there are times when I'm wrong. This is not one of them. And the same conversation, I can't. Whether this movie was phenomenal or just like middling, right?
Mm.
It doesn't matter because its purpose was not what the purpose of the new Captain America movie was, which is we got to bring this shit. We got to bring this shit home. If that movie,
you have to start setting up the Avengers. You have to start setting up the Avengers.
If that
Captain
movie
America
fails, and I mean fails like its budget is supposed to be like $250 million right now, I think, with reshoots and everything.
And if it only makes like 300 million or something like that,
if it makes 500 million on 250 million, fail.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to make $1 billion. It doesn't. No. It should, and that would be great if it does.
I think the number should be like 700 million. It should shoot for that. Like, it should be that good.
Purpose, and again, this isn't opinions I have, right? Like, who's this fucking asshole? Who's this bald asshole with a beard saying shit? This is their plan. They cut down the number of movies every year because they realized we would rather 2 movies a year that generate $1 billion than 3 movies that combine to $1 billion in profits. Because then they call, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they wanted. So this movie has to do well, like 850 million plus. And by the way, I'm directly correlating amount of money a movie makes with amount of people who enjoyed it. That's a direct correlation, because it's too easy. Yeah. It's too easy now to not see a movie, to see a movie for free, to wait until it's free. Like, it's too easy in the year of our Lord 2024 to not get off your ass because you don't have to.
Right.
That movie that movie has to change that.
It's real easy to not get off your ass, bro, and just be like, all right, well, Like I said,
that
didn't see this movie
has to do well, and Fantastic Four has to do better than that. That's
this is it. Nobody the Thunderbolts. Nobody has any expectations really for the Thunderbolts doing well. Nobody cares.
Ant-Man
Whatever.
Yeah. If it's good, great. If it's not good, fine.
Captain America, oh my gosh, has to do well. Fantastic Four has to be a banger. Unfortunately, it has to be a banger of a movie. If it's not a banger, you failed.
Agatha? The more I see about Agatha, the more I'm like, fuck yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited for Agatha. Is it good? I don't care. I'm excited for Agatha. It looks silly. It looks goofy.
I do this because it could be great. This is the reason why I do this, is because it could be phenomenal. Guess what? It won't matter.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. It won't matter if it's bad. And that's a good place to be.
It's fair.
It's a good place to be where if it's not good, it's cool.
Right. That's fair.
Because if it is good, it doesn't matter if it's tying in a million things and setting up. If it's good, people will be like, oh shit, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
People, majority. Whenever I say everybody and nobody, I'm being a little hyperbolic, obviously. I don't mean every single human being in the universe and ever past, present, and future, nor do I mean never has anyone set their eyes on it. I mean everybody and nobody in vast majorities, like 90%, 80% versus the opposite. Like there are people, I no longer pay for Marvel movies. I simply want them to appear on my Disney Plus, so I'm already paying to have for my kids. Yeah, most people are like that. But like, did you see Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters?
Yeah. There are certain movies that I need to see in theaters, right? And personally, for me, at this point in time, I go see most movies in the theaters because I just want to be able to get away and have everybody leave me alone. Basically, where I'm at.
How much longer should I leave Modoc's ass on?
Well, I was going to ask you to pull something else up. So let's talk. Let's talk. We're not going to stay too long tonight. So let's talk about let's talk about this crap right here. So apparently there's a roster confirmation, and I put these air quotes up because everybody always says, "Yeah, we have the people and we know and it's confirmed." But here's the thing. Subject to change. We play a more that looks pretty good. That one right there with that brown one. That looks amazing.
This is a regular ass donut.
That looks something with your crap with your camera makes it look really good. Coconut, my wife loves that crap.
And this is a powdered donut. And they were free. They were free 50. They were free 99 because I went into a Dunkin' Donuts to pick up my drink, my beverage, and the guy there, who loves me for no particular reason, like he's like, oh hey, every time.
You guys have a connection that you're not aware of. Yeah.
Super cool dude. Knows my drink. He sees me coming in. He started already. Same drink every day.
He's like, oh, okay, good. I got you.
Yeah.
You was like, yeah, I got you.
This person didn't pick these up. You want? I was like, yeah,
love it.
Buy him. He's like, no, you don't have. I'm like, no, you shouldn't. He's like, I'm gonna throw him out otherwise. I'm like, all right, oh, sure. So I tipped him, like I threw him, like, because it was a G move. But yeah, free. There was 6 in here. I had 2. I gave one away. I was thinking about getting a donut, but now I've decided I don't want any donuts right now.
I realize that I can't get one from you because you're a few miles,
like 200 miles away.
A decent amount of miles away.
Am I even 200? I don't even think I'm 200 miles away.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually.
I know I'm double digits, but I think I'm just barely double digits away because I've made the trip up to you. Not you, but like.
My sister lives in
45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, my sister lives not too far from where you are. It's not insane.
And if I take public transportation, I can get there in 45 minutes. If I take the
you could
like an Amtrak,
you could
yeah.
The Amtrak is
Like the bullet train to
lightning
Connecticut
fast.
too. You ever know this? You know, there's a train that goes from Connecticut to Grand Central in 30 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, I
That
didn't know
feels
that. I was when I was
that
going
dangerous.
to NYU. So I was working at NYU when I was working on my master's degree.
Yeah.
And this one person who worked in like an office adjoining my like the second floor of my building, I would run into her all the time. And like she mentioned in passing that she lives in Connecticut. I'm like, oh well, do you like have a place here that you stay during the week?
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, I take the train. And I was like,
what train
hell
is
of
this?
a ride? She's like, oh, it's only a 30-minute train ride.
Which craft is she performing to get here?
And
this
she's
fast?
like, yeah, it's real fast. It's real fast, but like the worst is like there's only 2 of them going back, so I have to leave every day at a very specific time, or I have to wait an hour, and you know, like
Amtrak is good, but it's also, like I said, it's incredibly scary when you think about it. It's like, damn, man, I'm really going that fast. It's insane.
It's a straight shot too. Then boom,
it's a straight shot.
It's actually just a rocket that they twist. Boom. No, but yeah, like, either way, and then there's one to Boston too. I know that's really quick, but I think the tickets, if you're not like a commuter, is like
they're pretty pricey.
Yeah.
They're pretty pricey.
Like $55, but I'm like, hey, $55 to travel about 110 miles in 30 minutes is
not bad.
Cheaper than if I drove it, because if I drove it, it's going to cost me way more than that in tickets
and longer time. Yeah. To be fair, what's up, Jay? All right, so this roster, this is really kind of like uneventful, right? Because what was it? They're saying that we're going to be getting some form of. So apparently, Kitty Pryde and Jubilee are locks. Apparently, for this. So this is talking about the MCU and what the confirmed roster is. I put confirmed roster is for the upcoming reboot of X-Men here. So originally they're saying that Jubilee and Kitty Pryde are kind of like locks. They're kind of like mainstays of the team, which you can do whatever you desire to do with that.
No, I got it for 1 second. There is my love of Kate Pryde, because I've the comics now, right? You've been up to date, or you're trying to be anyway. Like my love of Kate Pryde, like historically, like from Kitty Pryde to Murder Bitch Assassin right now, is paradoxically opposed to my fucking hatred of Jubilee. Like.
Well, don't read the new recent Uncanny X-Men comic. Then you may not like her even more.
If there's a number line 1 to 10 on negative and positive, wherever Kitty Pryde falls, Jubilee falls. I fucking hate Jubilee. I fucking, and you remember from the Marvel Strike Force days when the day they revealed she was the fucking legendary, and I was like,
you lost your ish,
but why? And that's when we figured out as a society, like, oh, they put shitty characters as the legendary because no one will buy them, and then they, you know, because Iceman and her, their kits are literally interchangeable. They both could do the same thing. Both, like, visually they'd be different. But like that, oh, basic, she could blind. Ice in your eye. Like, you know, like it's the same kids.
Yeah.
They clearly were like, whoop. I fucking hate Jubilee. Why?
Sorry to hear about that, Anti-Valor. Prayers with you. Hopefully everything turns out better on your end.
Jesus. Yeah, dude. Be better.
Yeah, wishing you and praying you better for sure.
You gotta, like, trust me, my mom's caught poison ivy, which is why I spent the better part of today fucking weed killering and cleaning shit up around the house. I know what it's feeling, man. Give me grown-up, mature Jubilee instead of teenage menace mutant. Give me no Jubilee. And replace her with any other character doing anything else.
She's just frustrating as a character because they keep on trying to force
her she's importance
in the don't even mention that crap. The vampire thing, they also force her to kind of have like her Myra powers.
Sparkles. Her power is sparkles. If she has additional powers, it doesn't matter. Her power is sparkles.
Sparkles. Yeah. That's it. I'm not a fan of Jubilee either. I just think that she's kind of a useless character that they kind of force to try to be an important character. It's incredibly frustrating.
I don't think you can hear this.
I cannot.
Unless you watch the stream.
I gotta watch the stream in order to be with. Well, I gotta turn the volume on.
I'm not gonna play it all, but Jubilee. This is a reaction.
You project pyrotechnic energy plasmoids, like little fireworks.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're fired.
You're fucking fired.
It's a pleasure to fire you.
You know,
Fireworks. Goodbye.
Done. We nailed it. We're done. We're fucking done. Steroids and Benadryl. What are you on? Oh God, what's the fucking one that my mom was on? The big steroid. Fuck. Starts with a T? Prednisone. No, P. Prednisone. Yeah, my mom was on prednisone. Hard as fuck to kill. It's a very resilient fucking plant. Anyway, yeah, this is Pete Holmes' Xmen, EXMEN, where Professor X just fires all the X-Men. Please watch these on your own. I'd love to do this as a reaction thing, but I'm just gonna skip to a second.
Yeah. You're over here.
This is her at a rave.
I'm tripping balls, bro. If you'd like to make a call, keep it funky. You look like Hello Kitty's best friend. Goodbye, Kitty. Goodbye, Kitty. Could you look back just for 1 second, please?
Hello Kitty's best friend. Oh, man.
You can't hear a finger.
I fucking hate, and he does everybody. Like, so it's not like that's the reason. But when I saw that, I was Jubilee, like, yes, fuck Jubilee. If you like Jubilee, my brother in Christ, peace and love. I'm happy for you, but know that we will never agree on this. If Jubilee gained double D's, started wearing Psylocke's outfit, and changed her powers from fireworks to also being Magneto, I would still hate her. Like, I cannot like, she is every aspect of who she is represents the version of the 90s that was refusing to let the 80s die. That's who she is. She is not so 90s. She is so 1992, still stuck in the late 80s. She's the worst fucking character that has ever existed in the X-Men. And there's a lot of shitty I don't like Jean Grey. This is well known. I do not like Jean Grey as a character. I hate Jubilee. Please continue.
She's pretty annoying. Jean Grey's annoying to me personally. I've never been a fan. I've always said, Cyclops, you can do better, and then you realize that he has done better most of the times. So he's like,
Cyclops can fuck whatever he wants.
Really,
Cyclops
he can.
Has a 15-inch cock. Like, he comes punch dimension lasers. Like, are you fucking kidding
me? Oh man! But all right, let's continue on. It says, so apparently they're supposed to be the original X-Men, which is like the original team. So from like the early times in the 1960s, right? They're going back to, what was it? The first team was what? Hank McCoy. You had Worthington. You had
Bobby,
which was
Bobby,
Angel,
Jean, and Scott.
Bobby, Jean, and then Scott. And Jean was not even
Marvel.
She was
girl.
just what Marvel girl. Yeah,
Marvel girl. Look at my marvelous powers.
When Professor X was
Beast wasn't blue yet.
Was creeping on her.
Iceman didn't know how to not look like a giant fucking snowman. Like his powers were shitty. So he just looked like a shitty snowman. And Archangel had bird wings, like a fucking bird.
And Professor X was low key crushing on Jean Grey.
He would just like, she was the only girl, and he would be like, it's time for the dorm inspection. Boop. Yeah. It's just me, Professor X. I see you're wearing clothing. I couldn't have. I guess I'll leave.
Yo, 100%. 100%, bro. 100%. No, read those. What was the first comic for the 1963 or something like that? Yo, those early comics were wild. Those early comics were wild. So then Morph is supposed to be in this too. I forgot. I was telling you that before we went live. I was like, I forgot that this dude's name was Changeling before he actually became Morph. But yeah, that he's supposed to be a part of this as well. They mentioned Storm, Wolverine, and then they also mentioned Colossus too. Or Nightcrawler. I think it was Nightcrawler. Yeah.
Colossus in the picture, and like Colossus is a dope ass character, but
he's phenomenal, man.
I think they're trying to get away from characters that like Deadpool fucked with a little bit for now.
Yeah.
So like Storm, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine are also kind of.
If you're not bringing in Colossus, you got to bring in at least Magic. I mean, come on now. If you're not gonna
also, you're not allowed to introduce us to Rogue and Gambit at the beginning. What you have to do is you have to introduce us to Rogue as a bad guy, the way it was originally done. And then she has to turn to be a good guy. And then Gambit, just some scamp, has to be like, yo, share. And for the love of God, do you know who you have to cast for Rogue?
Who? Tell me.
Chat. Who do we cast for Rogue in 2024?
I'm hoping that this is not the same person that you're talking about.
Hold on, I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna open it up right here.
Hey, listen, Jay, great minds think alike, okay? It better not be Sydney Sweeney. That's what I thought about. But I was like, it better not be Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, good God. Buddy. No, so Sydney Sweeney as Black Cat? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But Rogue? Rogue actually needs to act.
No, she doesn't.
No offense. Rogue actually needs to act a little bit.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah?
She has to have meaningful lines.
Name one Rogue line. Name one Rogue line that's not, I can't feel you.
I don't specifically remember them right now, but I remember
that they don't exist. Because Anna Paquin was not. Because Anna Paquin, phenomenal fucking actress, not fucking Rogue. Don't care.
That's a bad example. Her character was written poorly.
Sydney Sweeney. It doesn't have to be Sydney Sweeney, but Sydney Sweeney has two very important features.
Oh my God.
That are missing from Rogue.
She gotta have the curves.
Watch Xmen 97.
What's the booty at?
Oh no. Xmen 97 ain't the same. Xmen 97.
Nah, come on now.
Xmen 97.
The voice actor for Xmen 97, I got mad respect for her.
Xmen 97. That was we should not. It's too good. Xmen 97 was too good. Remy.
Especially that you got the original Rogue that played the 92 version of it. Come on now.
And then Gambit has to be Channing Tatum. It's not even a question anymore.
I can't feel you. Oh my gosh, I can't do it.
Yo, I'm gonna rewatch Xmen 97. Except the 3 episodes that suck.
So that's the Jubilee episode. All right.
It's the Jubilee episode twice. And all of Life Death. How about Millie Bobby Brown as Rogue? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I need Millie Bobby Brown far away from characters I'm sexually attracted to.
Millie Bobby Brown. I don't even remember who she is. Forgive me.
She's a child. Don't worry about it.
That's probably why I don't know her. I'm old now, so no. But I have to look her up now.
She's the girl Drake tried to groom. She'd be a good kitty. That's fair.
She's 20 years old.
Millie Bobby Brown might be a really good kitty. Now that I think about it, she does a decent American accent too.
She's 20 years old.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but she went from like 13 or 14 to like 38 in an afternoon, like facially, like she
looks a little bit older for sure. Yeah.
No, she something happened where she went from like a child to like HR representative at Costco. Like, I don't know what happened, like somewhere in that time. And it might just be the fact that like millions of creeps sexualized her as a child. And that's crazy to me. But, fuck them. Good actress.
Moving on.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Cocaine is a... Sir, I've looked as old as I do now since I was 19 because of cocaine. Cocaine does a weird thing where it fast forwards you and then it freezes you for like when I'm 50, I'm gonna look like this. Like I'm this way until I'm like in my 60s. This is how I'm gonna.
So look. It ages you and it freezes you in this.
No, it just skips. It time skips. Yeah, but you're still only 24. God bless you, TLC.
Time skips.
God fucking bless you. God bless you for saying that. Honestly, I don't know what I would do if I was 24 again. I would you know what? I would have learned nothing and made the same mistakes.
The same mistakes all over again.
Same mistakes. Seriously.
You know what's crazy? I got married at 24. That's what I'm starting to realize. I'm like, no, I got married at 24.
That is the youngest. I support marriage at 24.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's the moment when the light of hope leaves your eyes and you're like, nah, I'll just deal with this. Allison Brie, phenomenal. Dude, I found out Kat Dennings is like 44 and I was like, holy shit, how old am I? Like,
wow.
Kat Dennings has been hot for my entire life. Jesus Christ. Allison Brie, phenomenal actress. Kat Dennings, she's already got her shtick.
Allison Brie is pretty funny.
Kat Dennings is in Marvel. She's I forgot the character's name.
Darcy.
She's in all the Thors. Darcy, thank you.
Yeah, Darcy.
She's in Thor, and she was in WandaVision.
Oh, I liked her in WandaVision a lot. I thought she had a really good part there. Really good part there.
Zoe Deschanel. Here's a picture of Zoe Deschanel.
I always honestly confuse her with what's the other? No, there's another. What's the one that played Madam Web?
Zoe Deschanel without bangs. Look, she's a demon. She's a demon. Bangs,
the one that plays Madam Web. I always confuse Zoe with her. Honestly,
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson, yeah.
You know who could do well? Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning. I was watching a round table where she was talking about how she was like 16 years old and applying for a job. And the director, this is why Hollywood is fucking garbage, full of garbage people. She heard the director say, at 16 years old, she can't have the part. She's completely unfuckable. And like she heard that and that fucked her up. And I was like, yeah, that's not the quality you should be looking for in 16-year-old daughter characters.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it was a crazy roundtable that she did with a whole bunch of women actors. Just kind of like talking through shit. But Elle Fanning, phenomenal fucking actress. Like, truly phenomenal actress. Sarah Paulson, good actress. There's a lot of good actors.
Sarah
and
Paulson's
actresses.
is older now. Sarah Paulson, I'm trying to think about who that is.
American Horror Story, Nurse
Okay.
Ratched. Good actress, phenomenal actress, and you've seen her in other things too. I think she was in. You know what she was in that you would have watched because you and me both like chick flicks for some fucking reason.
We do, yeah.
What Women Want. She was in What Women Want with Helen Hunt and Mel Gibson. Yeah. She was the assistant who kept calling her Israeli boyfriend.
I remember. Listen, I've been, like I said, I've been with my wife.
That movie's great. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
I've been with my wife now for 15 years. We've been married for 10 years. I watch a lot of chick flicks.
There are chick flicks that are phenomenal, and there are chick flicks that are garbage. The phenomenal ones, The Proposal, phenomenal fucking movie. What
Great
Women
movie.
Want, phenomenal fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are just like, and then there's like anything with Jennifer Lopez. Like any movie with Jennifer Lopez is dog shit.
Yeah, to be honest with you. Nah, there was one sci-fi movie that she recently just did that I thought was okay.
Who? Jennifer Lopez?
There was a sci-fi movie that she recently did where I was like, this is actually not terrible. I forgot which movie it was, but I was like, yeah, this isn't terrible.
The Core? No.
Nah, it was
The Cell was an older one. She was good in that movie.
That
movie was also fucking crazy.
Movies. Hold on. I'm being lazy with my typer right now. Give me a second. I'll tell you in a second.
Ain't going nowhere. We're looking at Elle Fanning.
Damn it! What was the name? Atlas. She was in Atlas is the name of the movie. The movie is Atlas. She was pretty good in that one. Well, the movie itself was pretty good. It wasn't terrible.
Chloe Grace Moretz. Poor girl. Got the buccal fat surgery.
Ugh.
But Chloe Grace Moretz is, did she? I can't even zoom in. Yes, she did. Yes, she very much did.
That's unfortunate, man, because she was fine the way she's fine the way she was before.
We're still dudes. We can't
Hollywood,
really say anything.
Yeah.
Like I always feel bad when I see somebody get the buccal fat surgery because it's not because they're self-conscious. It's because they're like they feel like if they don't, they won't be attractive enough for their job anymore. And it always just and like that might not be true, but it always just feels like that's a shitty thing to put on people. Also, Lindsay Fonseca, she can get some work. Love Lindsay Fonseca. She was Ted's daughter in How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
She was also in Kick-Ass. I gotta watch Kick-Ass. Yeah,
was she Kick-Ass. Okay.
Literally, everyone was in Kick-Ass.
Oh, Evan Peters was in Kick-Ass? Why did I not see?
He was Kick-Ass.
I don't remember. No, wasn't Aaron Taylor Johnson Kick-Ass?
Oh yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson was Kick-Ass. Evan Peters was one of the friends of Kick-Ass.
Whatever screen I'm looking at, the names are all blurred, so I can't tell who they actually are. But
this is Evan Peters. Evan Peters and Clark Duke were Aaron Taylor Johnson's friends.
Okay.
And Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
And he was the enemy basically, right? He was like the villain.
What was his fucking name? Does anyone remember his name? I'm looking it up. Red Mist. Gross.
Red Mist.
Gross.
Oh
that
my
movie was so good.
God, that movie was funny as heck, man.
Yeah, he was McLovin. He's always McLovin.
McLovin, yeah.
Goofy.
Yeah.
How you feeling, bro? Because we're at an hour 30.
We are. I'm winding down. Let's talk about this crap before I fully wind down.
Let's finish off. We're gonna do a little bit shorter for a couple of weeks. just because life stuff is ramping up. School started for Goofy's kids, and
I won't be here next week.
So there's a lot of moms at home not getting fucked by me. So like we're all real busy right now.
Yeah. I definitely will be doing that to the mother of my children next week repeatedly because it's my birthday next week. So therefore just keep that in mind. I will be here for that reason.
All right, so I won't come over. I won't be in your hood.
You can on Thursday, but just not Fridays.
And clean up? No, thank you. Didn't know you could do shorter than all these zeros lately. Yeah, so a bunch of people missed. We started talking about it. We had a lot of stuff going on. We had Goofy's anniversary. It was 3 weeks out. And then the week after, I forgot, we both had something. You had a wedding or some shit. And I had
wedding. We celebrate somebody's 20. Well, actually, it was a couple of weeks in a row. Somebody celebrated their 20-year wedding anniversary. So we went to go celebrate that with them. I can no longer have any children, actually. I'm shooting out blanks at this point, so we're good where that's concerned. 4 was enough for me. All right, 4 was enough for me.
And last week I closing out a contract at work, and I was just literally exhausted. Like we could have went live last week. We absolutely could have, but it would have been a version of me that nobody would have liked.
I would have had to carry the show, and let's be honest with you, once I get about 2 glasses in, no one wants me to carry the show.
Yeah, so. Last week was just it's rough weeks, and then so I'm good for a while, right? Everything's back to normal, but who's to say, So we're back, but the time limitations Goofy and I both have our YouTube shit we have working on, and just for the next at least for the next couple of weeks, the extra time, an hour and a half to an hour 45 is kind of what we're looking to keep at, unless there's some major thing that we got to be talking about. But also there really hasn't been much to talk about in any news. But the only thing we can end on in this kind of idea is Spider-Man 4, or specifically Venom, and then Spider-Man 4.
Spider-Man 4, they kind of intertwine in a sense. Yeah,
going live while editing and just hanging out thing. Yes, we still plan on. The thing is I'm
usually a zombie when I'm editing, so that's what makes it tough for me, because I'm just I don't want to talk to anybody after I'm done recording.
The thing is, Goofy and I don't have static free schedules, and that's where it's coming into hard. And trust me on this, I've tried. There have been days where I Monday and a Tuesday where I even this week where I as I'm driving home, I'm oh, you know what? I'm going to do this thing. So I'm going to go live, and maybe I'll go live on my channel and cross promote. And just kind of moved around. I was thinking of it, but then you get home, right? And then it's oh shit, I didn't have food. Am I going to order food? No, let me cook some food. And then an hour passes. And then, I get a call and someone's hey man, do you want to get a round of Helldivers in? And I'm I fucking do, actually. I haven't played Helldivers in a couple months. So let's do that. And then life's real fucking weird right now for us. So that's kind of we want to do these things. It's not we're not interested. It's not something. It's just, it's really hard to kind of figure that out. And it even doubles down. Goofy wants to do some video editing, even if he is gonna show some stuff off, right, for his channel, what he's working on. There's an 80% chance a kid runs through the back, and he might have to do something because it's different times. Friday ended up being the one day,
or it's really late and I'm spent and I don't really want to talk. So at that point, to keep up with the chat while editing, it's oh my gosh, I can't do it.
We never do nothing. That's what I will say. Like, even like we talk, for the most part, we talk most of the week, right? Like we like, with the last 2 weeks being exceptions because we're both fucking dealing with shit. But like we talk all the time, and we pitch ideas to each other back and forth of stuff to do. But the God's honest truth, and we've both agreed on this many times, there is a point when this will start severely mattering to us.
Yeah.
like where we are treating this, excuse me, very seriously.
Right.
That point hasn't arrived yet.
No.
For us. And for not any particular reason, just a multitude of different ones. But we already know what that looks like. We know, we've planned a lot. When this happens, we'll do this, and when this happens, we'll do this. But until this happens, let's get fucked up and talk about She-Hulk for 37 minutes.
Like we both have other successful YouTube channels. Some of you guys follow, some of those channels. So we know what it takes to build a channel, but we're kind of just more at the point where we're just like, hey, we're not there yet. So no reason to overexert.
We're having fun. We're just, honestly, we're just waiting on Kick. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, ultimately.
What, you do YouTube? Yes, equally.
Every now and again.
I manage streamers.
Do you now?
You know what? Yeah. There's a couple of streamers that I manage right now. Where I find them like, because like everybody thinks they know what they're doing because they listen to people. And guys, just perfect advice, right? For anything. And you could, the irony of this is not lost on me. If you listen to advice that somebody gives away for free, you are not the recipient, you are the target.
Right.
That is true of all things. If there is someone on YouTube, there's difference. There are people that are like, hey, this will help you set up your OBS stuff. Hey, this will help you set up this stuff. But like, goof, how many times you want a YouTube thing, a YouTube Discord, or you're talking to other content creators, and you find out everybody is following a path, and that path leads to a level of mediocrity that's static, right? The people who are really, really good at stuff, they really don't talk about it. Most of the time, it's not an arrogance. It's not an interesting. It's none of that. It's only those people are creating for the successful reasons. This is the way you succeed at something is you just do it. You can look at metrics, you can learn from metrics, and knowing how to learn from metrics is relevant, but there's no one thing that will make you successful in any of these markets. You can't take a class on it. If somebody who's already successful at it is telling you like, oh, do these 5 steps, I've always told people the same steps. You be consistent, you be entertaining, and you be energetic. And if you could be those 3 things in whatever you do, you're going to succeed in those things. Doesn't matter, like, but you can't just be the 75th fucking person streaming League of Legends to Nightbot. You know, like that you're not doing. You don't have a hook. Nobody cares. You're not. It doesn't matter if you're on TikTok or none of these things matter. Just do it, and eventually it all works out. So yeah, I manage a couple people. I tell them what deals to take. I'm like, don't take this deal. Like, don't take a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship unless they're willing to give you this much up front. And they're like, oh, but I'm like, no, just don't do that, or you don't want to sign this deal because people can tell you if you aren't having fun. Yeah, and even then, like, you have to sensationalize things.
Yeah, fun is
like
relative,
you have to.
Yeah,
like when I was Tony Scungili, right? Like I had to be a acerbic piece of shit because that was the character that worked, and people who knew me as Tony Scungili and then later knew me as Tony, like they're like, oh wow, like I'm like, it's turned to 11. You take a character trait, you turn it to 11. That's my character. I'm still that person, but I'm nowhere near that, person.
There's intensity. There's a level of intensity that you dumb down a little bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Venom. The only thing I care about is that they dropped the N bomb, or the K bomb. I think is technically more accurate.
Yeah, K bomb. Yeah.
They said no.
Yeah. They said it.
They said no. So, Goofy, what did you say when I brought that up to you earlier today?
I'm not impressed. I almost, to a certain extent, don't care. I'm almost insulted that they brought up no, because I just feel like it's going to be the same thing all over again that we saw with Fantastic Four, where Galactus was a cloud. It's going to be the same thing again where we saw Unicron in Transformers, where he was, I guess we saw his face. I just feel like, once again, it's the same thing where we're going to see Knull. We're going to mention Knull. We're probably not realistically going to see him. They're going to mention Clintar. We're going to see these creatures come to Earth, but we're never realistically going to experience Knull. We're just going to know that he's a threat. And somehow they're going to stop that threat. Eddie Brock and Venom are going to stop that threat. And then, that ends the trilogy, and then we move on. I'm almost more frustrated that we're even talking about Knull in this movie.
So I went from I don't care, I'm gonna watch it. Like, I don't care, I'll watch it. To
I mean, I will. I just realized what you just did with the picture, by the way.
It's been up the entire time you were talking. I went from I don't care, I'm gonna watch it, to I kind of care, I'm gonna watch it. Like, that was so. And I said to you, and I'm gonna say it again, Knull is like a 4.5-year-old character. Like, Knull showed up in like late 2018, early 2019 in the comics.
King in Black.
He's been in the story throughout time. Like, he's been retconned into like what happened, right? But he's a relatively new character. The amount of research that you have to do in order to not fuck up Knull as a character is like, Wikipedia covers it.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to straight like wikipedia.com, not even like a Marvel wiki, like wikipedia.com, Knull, King of the Symbiotes, and whatever it says there, you're good. Like, there's not Venom, there's no Wikipedia article that could do Venom justice. The best it could do is give you a base understanding.
Yeah, give you a base. Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's no Spider-Man, Carnage. Like, these are characters with decades or more. And I think Carnage came out in the 90s, so that's still 30 fucking years of like stories, right? Knull is 4 or 5 years of stories. You can't fuck him up. It's not possible to fuck him up. The question is, do you think Sony knows it's not possible? Or do you think they're taking that as a challenge? They're like, no, we can fuck Knull up. Because you only get one shot at this. Because if they fuck up Knull, Marvel will not be able to use Knull for fucking ever. Bye, Sydney Sweeney's tits. Knull, yeah, but he's been dead. That's the thing. Knull showed up, was a nightmare for 3 fucking years, died. Done. Everybody fucking loves Knull. Dead. He is currently dead. There is no one more dead. Uncle Ben is slightly more dead than Knull. Right? Like that, like a hair.
Yeah.
But the Venom is, like I said, it doesn't matter. So the best it could be is cool.
I am on the fence about all of it.
He's coming to MSF. He's the new game mode unlock.
Battle World. Yeah.
But honestly, I still play that game. I have no idea why. I've given them no money. I'm still super mad.
About what, Captain Britain?
Dude, I did 0 war attacks, and the fucked up thing is, I'm usually like 12 for 12 in war. So this war, like, I did 0 attacks. I was like, I'm sorry, and they're like, yeah, but like, you know, you're usually 12 for 12. Like, I'm like, yeah, fucking Mephisto, bro. Like, what do you want from me?
Oh, you got Mephisto now? For you. Yeah, I'm still waiting on Dormammu.
I was mad that I didn't think I was gonna get Mephisto until Odin came out, and I was like, this feels really fast. Like, I don't know why it feels this fast, but it felt super fast. Isn't it? Whatever. That game's dog shit. Like, I've been playing Zenless Zone Zero. Oh, I've pulled every rare in Zenless Zone Zero, Goofy. The titty game with the titty characters and titties.
Yeah.
A new set came out, and I pulled both of them.
Really?
In the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been crazy. And I pulled them like immediately too. It was like 10x pull, pulled one, chilled for a week, 10x pulled another one. It was like, oh fuck, all right, done.
Well, for me, Madden has been better. So Madden updated their game this year, and I've been enjoying the gameplay a little bit better here. So personally, I've been playing that game instead of.
I don't play Madden anymore, but I do still play the show.
You play the show, MLB man. The show? Really?
I love the show, man. I love baseball.
It's a good. It is a good game, though.
I don't talk about baseball because there's only 2 types of people: people who love baseball and everybody else. Whether you hate baseball or just like baseball, you have the same opinion on baseball. You don't want to talk baseball the way I want to talk baseball. You remember Gaucho?
Gaucho? What is that? A
Gaucho
game?
Loco? No, Gaucho Loco. It was hung out and Marvel Strike Force streams and streamed for a little bit.
Yeah.
Gaucho and we would talk baseball for hours. Just for and people would get pissed. They'd be like, dude, you want to talk about anything else? Like, no, baseball. Love baseball. Yeah, but like, I can't bring that energy because everybody else is like, dude, baseball is so fucking boring. I'm like, yes. That's why we talk about it, to make it interesting.
Yeah.
It's the Spider-Man 4 thing I'm scared about.
Okay.
Because so far, the battle seems to have been Spider-Man 4 was supposed to be Spider-Man, Kingpin, Daredevil, New York shit.
Yeah.
And Sony was fighting for big-ass Spider-Man, No Way Home bullshit.
Yep.
Knull is the embodiment of edgelord, and comic enjoyers love a good edgelord. I like a good edgelord. And then there's people who play Reaper and Overwatch. These are different people.
Yeah.
Remember I was talking about fans before? Same. I'm afraid. Oh, it's not even popping up as like your comment got banned.
Yeah,
I'm afraid they're gonna rush Spider-Man 4. Like, now is not the time for Peter to get the symbiote. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Peter should not be having the symbiote. Peter needs to stand on his own fucking feet for a little bit.
Right.
And then we could talk about this. Unfortunately, guess what? We have Secret World coming. We're gonna have to put him in the symbiote eventually. So I'm not sure. I want to know how much Kevin Feige has had to do with Venom 3. Because that's the piece of information that's going to let me know whether Venom 3... We don't fucking have mods. I don't even... whatever, fuck it.
Mods?
Yeah.
Who are those? Who are those entities?
Yeah, mods. Actually, I think I made one of my old mods a mod here just because I'm like, if you're ever bored, come on in, you'll be fine. I'm afraid that they're gonna overshoot for Spider-Man, and No Way Home felt like a culmination of not just the story they were telling, but a long story. I don't think you can capture that lightning in a bottle. I
Tough.
think you need to kind of like tone it down a bit, then move it back up. Holland's gonna be Spider-Man. Remember when Holland was like, "If I'm Spider-Man in my 30s, man," I'm like, "No, you're gonna be Spider-Man fucking forever, bro. You suck at acting."
Yeah. He's there, but what I want from Spider-Man 4 is just like you said this already, grounded story that focuses more on city level threats in a sense, but more so for me, it's just like the development of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, since basically his first three first three movies were basically like origin stories, right? I think that's what the director said that his movies were like. So I would like to see them go in the direction of, hey, you know what, we're gonna just kind of like bring him along slowly here, and eventually kind of ramp him up to this battle. But if you're gonna go with the Venom symbiote already, it kind of feels like we've never really gotten the opportunity to experience Tom Holland's Spider-Man as Spider-Man, really.
Okay, this is my favorite. Joe asks, "Is Venom 3 about to set up Spider-Man 4?" Daniel Richmond, think about it logically. I have to throw this fucking comment out because Sony's making it. I can't think about it logically. I'm not allowed to think about it logically because Sony's making it. Because Sony's making Kraven. Because Sony made Madam Web. Because Sony made Morbius. Sony has not the benefit of the doubt to think about anything logically.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything he says after it is very logical and very reasonable. It's a very good theory. Yeah. Sony's making this movie. Sony sucks at making movies. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Knull's going to show up on the floor, right? Of Los Angeles. And Toxin's going to beat him. And that's it.
We're getting a Toxin? Okay.
Yeah. We know we're getting Toxin, though. He's in what's it called? The cop. The deaf cop.
I honestly, anything from that movie, I have forgotten everything. So,
no one appearing in the final trailer. Venom Bro isn't doing anything in this film. They'll save it for something bigger. Venom cannot take on that multiversal threat alone. Except he did. Like,
all right.
And Sony's making it. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good here. Anyway, Shang-Chi 2 is coming out. We'll see you next week. Almost definitely. You don't have anything to do next week, right?
No, I am not here next week.
Okay, I'll be here next week, I think.
Yeah, I'll be celebrating my birthday next week, guys. So I will not be here, and I'm probably gonna be more sloshed than I usually am here on stream. So I will not be available next week.
So I will be here next week. I will do my absolute best to get another idiot involved.
Please do.
Just to hang out. I've been working on some changes and tweaks to the graphics and stuff. But yeah, thanks for coming back. We missed you guys. We hope to see you again. And say happy birthday to Goofy. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.